Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Hugh Riches. Tonight I'll be talking to Tilly Brock, a nurse specialising in dementia, an Admiral nurse, to talk about Dementia Awareness Week next week. But first, here's James Dunn with the headlines.
Hello, in the headlines today, an oil and gas company presents plans for an exploration well in Stallingborough, and an 80s singing sensation performs in Grimsby this evening. An oil company is hoping to build a well site on land near Immingham, which it claims could hold up to 3 million barrels of oil. Europa Oil and Gas gave a presentation to Stallingborough Parish Council to outline initial plans for an exploratory borehole near Moxall Farm. But they stressed it will be a conventional exploration and there are no plans to undertake the controversial process known as fracking. Some residents expressed concerns over traffic movements in the construction phase, during which 12 HGVs will move twice a day along Ryby Road and through Healing.
This well is being planned and executed as a conventional oil and gas well. The end game here is to have a nodding donkey producing oil, which we will take 5 kilometres down the road to the Immingham oil refinery, where we currently export about 100 barrels of oil a day from our 2 producing fields at Crosby Warren and West Fursby, also in this area.
A consultation will also be held at Immingham Town Council before the company submit their planning application to North East Lincolnshire Council next month. It's hoped that, if given the go-ahead, they could start construction in September. Police are warning residents to be vigilant against bogus callers targeting vulnerable elderly people in the area. 4 men claiming to be roofers were arrested after pressuring an 83-year-old woman and a 79-year-old man to hand over a total of £800 for work they never carried out. Police are urging anyone with concerns not to hand over any money and to contact them if they are worried. It's happening on your doorstep and you need to be aware of it. That's the message from the local branch of Hope for Justice, which deals with the problem of human trafficking and slavery. As part of a need to make people aware, 50 members are doing a sponsored walk this Saturday from Cleethorpes to Grimsby. They hope to raise £1,500 to help set up an investigatory hub in the north. John Games is one of the organisers and is hoping local people show their support.
Well, the work of Hope for Justice is to rescue those who have been trafficked into the UK and who could be exploited in a work situation as a slave for very little money. So currently there are 2 hubs. There's one in the north and northeast, based in Bradford, which covers the area from Newcastle down to Hull. There is a second one in the West Midlands. There is a third one opening in London this month, and then the money that we generate this year will go towards opening another regional hub somewhere in the UK. And the purpose of these hubs is to follow up leads and information where people may have been trafficked, and then to work in cooperation with the police to hopefully rescue those who have been trafficked and bring the perpetrators to justice.
North Lincolnshire Council wants people to remember that copying DVDs is illegal after Scunthorpe Man was prosecuted. Stephen Watt, 57 of Revesby Avenue, was selling the DVDs at a car boot sale when Trading Standards officers searched his house and confiscated his computer, printer and around 1,000 copied DVDs. Judge Bury warned him not to go near a car boot sale in the next year or he would serve the 4-month suspended sentence he was given. Councillor Nigel Sherwood, Cabinet Member for Neighbourhoods, said let it be a lesson to others that copying fake DVDs is illegal and the council will investigate and prosecute. Have you ever wondered if what you spend on a Friday night is the best use of your money? If so, you're not alone. And that's why thousands of people across the area and the country will be trading their nights out for Macmillan Cancer Support's Big Night In tonight. The charity is asking people to invite friends over for dinner, drinks or a movie and donate what you would have spent at a restaurant, cinema or pub to help fight cancer. Last year, the 30,000 people who took part raised a total of £1.25 million. And if you're looking for something to do tomorrow, Lindsay Oil Refinery is opening its doors to members of the public for a family fun day with some special attractions. There'll be a Red Bull F1 simulator, children's entertainment and tours around the refinery and central control room. It's free to attend and starts at 10 AM running until 4 PM. And finally, remember 80s soul singer Omar? Well, he's still producing music, winning awards, and tonight he's playing at Grimsby Minster, headlining the museum's At Night Festival. This weekend is your chance to visit various venues across the area in the evening, and you can find out more about what's going on the Museums at Night website. That's all from me. Bye for now.
Dementia Awareness Week, starting on Monday and based at Grimsby's Freeman Street Resource Centre, is a series of events designed to promote a more alert attitude to the condition and some positive approaches. Organised by the Alzheimer's Society and the local Care Plus group, among others, the week will feature reminiscence rooms, relaxation sessions, Tai Chi and even New Age curling. Various pharmacies and surgeries will offer a 10-minute memory test to emphasise the importance of catching dementia early, and the organisers hope to recruit dementia friends. I'm joined by Tilly Brock, a nurse from Navigo, the local mental health services provider. Tilly, many thanks for coming in.
That's okay.
Tell me, what's going to be happening in Dementia Week?
In the, like it said, in Freeman Street Resource Centre, I know there's lots of different events going on, as it said. The Alzheimer's Society will also be there as part of that. Their events run from Monday to Friday. As part of what we're offering with Navigo is we're doing a Memory Matters Day, which is an event at the Ross Sports Ground on Peaks Lane, and that's 10 till 4. And during that event we will have...
Which day is that?
Sorry, Friday the 23rd of May.
Right.
And our hope is to have it an intergenerational day, so we have younger and older people together to share memories, as well as raising the awareness and things like that. But we will also have a giant inflatable brain, which we're quite proud of,
right,
as an educational tool, but a fun way of learning, so people can walk through the brain and we'll be able to explain how the brain functions.
Many of us will worry about getting dementia at some stage, of course, and many more of us will know people who suffer from it. What more awareness do we need? Why is it important?
I think there are still some people that have a fear of dementia, and some people that maybe don't know where to go really for help. I think if we raise awareness, there are lots of different points that people can gain support from, and it may be an advocacy role for them to actually have the evidence to go to their GP to look at maybe diagnosis and follow the pathway through.
And how common is it? How many people are going to get it?
In Grimsby, the projected figures say that we should have 2,000 people within the North East Lincolnshire. I think within the mental health services we know that we have approximately 50% of those people, so there are still a lot of people that either don't come through our services or don't have a diagnosis, or maybe don't know where to go to actually get support and help.
And it is something predominantly that affects people in their age, in sort of 60s, 70s, 80s and upwards. Does it affect younger people at all?
Yeah, it does, yeah. Alzheimer's, I think, is more commonly known to affect people of younger age, but yeah, there's also, people with any kind of brain damage can have memory problems, and the symptomology can be similar. But yes, we do have people locally that are diagnosed younger, maybe 30s.
You mentioned Alzheimer's, but that's not the only form.
No, Alzheimer's is one type of dementia. Dementia comes under an umbrella term, and within that there are many kinds of dementia. Alzheimer's is the most common that's diagnosed, and then vascular dementia, Lewy body type dementia, and it can go on, and obviously there can be a mixture of different kinds of dementia as well. So.
It's horrible for the person suffering from it, but in some ways perhaps it's even more horrible for their family and their loved ones. What can the families of sufferers do? Yeah,
and I think that's why as Navigo we feel it's important to do something intergenerational, because dementia is an illness that does affect the whole family unit, and we'd really want to value those relationships that people have. People cope very differently with it.
Well, it can be absolutely exhausting, of course.
Definitely, and the Admiral nurse role is very specific to supporting carers of people with dementia, so family and friends, they can contact us themselves to gain that support, or be signposted via all the other services that a person comes into contact with.
The person suffering from a condition like this isn't necessarily aware that they're suffering. There's a sort of an element of ignorance is bliss here. Is it?
I think people are aware. They're maybe not aware of the effect that the illness is having on them, but I think emotionally, they often are very aware, which can often lead to the different behaviours that people can see.
So it's that frustration that they can't remember their wife's name, or
or they're not sure. You know, they think they're going home but can't quite remember where the current home address is, and you know, those and speech and language. I mean, it affects our brains. So whatever part of the brain is affected will affect how that person manages life.
There's not a lot positive to be said about the condition.
I think there are positives to be seen. I think they're sometimes hard to find, and I think we do need to be creative and flexible in our approaches with people to make them feel valued still, and to encourage them to live well with dementia. I'm not saying it is always, you know, we know it's not always easy, but there can be small bits of positivity in the illness.
You mentioned that there were different forms of dementia, of course. What are the prospects for cures and remedies?
I think the Alzheimer's Society, you know, they do a lot of research into dementia. I think ultimately we have a responsibility to ourselves to maintain a healthy lifestyle. You know, there is no prevention and there is no cure at present.
But that sort of physical health, that promotes mental health as well,
yeah, I think if we're physically well,
so I should give up bacon and eggs and 2 pints of beer in the evenings and
I
things
think
like
there's
that.
being sensible and there's not having much quality to your life. I think we all make decisions, don't we?
I'm very glad you said that.
But healthy lifestyle, as what, you know, the same for any illness, isn't it really? We have a responsibility to look after ourselves to be able to do that.
Now, for the Dementia Awareness Week...
Freeman Street, Monday to Friday.
Yep.
And Ross Sports Ground, just on the Friday, there'll be an event 10 till 4.
Tilly, thank you very much for coming in.
Okay.
More sport has occurred. On Saturday, Hull City play Arsenal in the FA Cup final. It'll be the first time the club has got this far in the competition. They did get to the semi-final in 1930, again against Arsenal. After a 2-2 draw in the original game, they lost the replay 1-0. Steve Bruce's side know that if they're victorious, they'll automatically qualify for the Europa League group stage, but if defeated, they must compete to get in. At the final in 1994, Steve Bruce skippered Manchester United to a 4-0 win against Chelsea. In a unique twist, his son Alex might have a role to play for Hull this time round. At the Etihad Stadium in Rugby's Super League, it's the 7th Magic Weekend, with Hull FC going head-to-head with arch-rivals Hull Kingston Rovers. They've met in every competition except 2009 and 2010. Form is said to be no guide in local derbies. However, apart from their 22-16 win in last year's tournament, Hull FC have been defeated in all meetings between the sides. Just last month, Hull Kingston Rovers also won a closely fought victory 21-20 against Hull FC. Lee Radford, Hull FC coach, thinks that this result means that Hull KR are red-hot favourites. In the opposite dugout, Craig Sandercock's not taking any notice of what happened last year, but expects a physical and intense battle and hopes his side go into the game with an aggressive attitude. In the Lincolnshire ECB Premier League, Grimsby travel to Billingborough, while Market Raisin head to Lindham and Market Deeping await Louth. On Sunday at Market Raisin, they're holding their annual Newcomers' Day event at the racecourse. Gates open at midday with the first race at 2 p.m. and the last at 5. The whole spectacle is designed for those who've not been to a race meeting before, to give them an insight into what the sport is all about. A parade featuring newly retired racehorses, behind-the-scenes tours, and a talk by former jockey Robert Bellamy are among the attractions. Finally, motoring. Kermington's Guy Martin and Louth's Peter Hickman will be competing in the 2014 Vauxhall International Northwest 200. The competition takes place in Northern Ireland and has been going strong since 1929. Guy has still to win the street circuit race after 10 years, and it's Peter's debut. Both are busy preparing for the 2014 Isle of Man TT. That's enough sport, and that's all we have time for today. If you've a story, please email news@estuary.tv or contact us via Twitter or Facebook on those pages, or pick up the phone and call 01472 315561. Until tomorrow, goodbye.